Okay, welcome back to Rome Remastered as we continue our Greek campaign, and I think one of the first things I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually revise one of my previous decisions from the previous episode, which is I think we can actually go to war with Dacia. I think that should be fine. We can actually send our units slightly closer as long as we keep it specifically to the cav. And if we look at this particular force, it's just peasants, and this is just a town, so this could easily just be... So it's warband. We know they've got warband. I wouldn't be surprised if the rest is just peasants or... I don't actually know what their second tier unit is after peasants. I can't really remember. It could be warband. But either way, I don't think they have anything better than warband, so we should actually be okay just to go straight for this war. And I don't really think they can do too much to us. So let's go for that, and then the rest can join us next turn. If they do come out and attack us, I think that's fine. I think these militia cav should be capable of doing quite a lot of damage to them. So we'll see how that goes. Something else to do is... I'm pretty sure... Sidon here, I wasn't able to build sat points in the previous episode, but apparently I now can. So I'm going to do that just because it does make it slightly easier. Let's check on this. War with Dacia. We're at war with pretty much everyone, I think. Let's just have a quick check. Yeah, so we're at war with everyone with the exception of Armenia, Numidia, and Spain. And also Britannia, I guess, but we've not really met Britannia. But yeah, it's going pretty well. I think we will actually go for a quick fight, or a quick assault. We're going to go for this town, which is guarded by 2 units of militia hoplites, 1 unit of Scythian horse archers. This is not necessarily going to be easy. I think they will actually beat us from range. I could probably auto-resolve this. I really could, because I don't need to preserve these units. They don't really have anywhere else to go. Yeah, that was fine. Yeah, that wasn't as bad as I thought. That could have gone a lot worse. So, can't see the town. I might have been able to see it for a split second. Just gonna play it safe and exterminate. I don't see any reason to take a risk of public order problems. So normal tax rate they're pretty happy with, and I don't think... Yeah, we're not going to be able to retrain these hoplites, so we're going to have to send them somewhere else. I think we'll go for the Shrine to Hermes, and we should probably try and actually grow this town, although it does need to double its population, so that's probably just not going to happen. Perhaps the trader could get it slightly closer. This particular town is only really going to be useful if we can actually build a port. Otherwise it's going to make us almost no money. It seems to be sinking into the land. I'm not sure if that's specific to this campaign, or just a bug with Remastered, possibly. Let's check on this. So we've exterminated that town. We've got a few other towns we can attack as well. I think this town also can probably be auto-resolved, because looking inside, it's super basic. Peasants, Libyan spearmen are pretty much bottom tier. Slingers and skirmishers pretty much bottom tier, and factionaire. That's really their only good unit. This stuff should all be able to be retrained in Carthage, if nothing else. Let's just see what the ratio looks like. Victory is almost a certainty. I'd say that's maybe 6-1. This should also be fine. The next town along should be Lepsis Magna, which is typically not a great town. Very unlikely to be heavily defended. There we go, we do win it. They do get quite a few kills, but that's fine. It just saves us some time. It wouldn't have been a particularly interesting fight, I don't think. So let's have a look. What can we retrain? So we can actually train armored hoplites straight away, so that's perfect. I think what we should do is we should do the usual kind of merging thing. So let's just fuse a few of these together. Then we should be able to move straight back out. Okay. So, if we retrain all of these, that makes perfect sense. Then we're going to train up some more hoplites. And we're going to take all of these healthy units. We're going to take the main governor, and we're going to step him out of the town. That's probably going to make them pretty unhappy. 50%. If we jump in with these. So the Libyan mercenaries cost us more in upkeep, if we compare units with similar numbers of men. So if the Libyans die, that's fine. I think we should probably focus on... We could actually take these with us. I think we should probably focus on just sending in units that are actually not going to make too much difference in battle, and most of these units are not particularly great. Libyan mercenaries aren't actually that expensive either in upkeep. They should help. Let's have a look. Okay, that takes them up to 80%. We can also drop the tax rate, and we're going to have a lot of stuff retrained as well. Okay, let's send these up too. And Thapsus is still very happy, so let's send all of these forces. Can we join these up? Looks like we definitely can. Okay, so we're going to take this force straight to the south. Before we do, let's throw up a watchtower. As we can see a rebel force. We can see some wild animals. And then to the east, we should have Lepsis Magna just there. To the south, there's a town in this part of the world. I think it's Nepte. And to the west, I don't think that's a town, although it could be. Yeah, because there's definitely a town there. I think this is possibly a town. I can't remember which. What we should probably do is send a few forces in each direction. So let's take all of these. Let's send these to the west. And the rest we're going to send to the south. Not sure this is quite strong enough. Let's check the mercenaries, as there's nothing else available. Okay, so we might have to send a few more units just to back them up. Thapsus is actually quite happy now, so let's send a few more mercenaries down just to join in. Yeah, just the one unit of armoured hoplites. I'm not sure that's actually strong enough, so I might have to go and revisit that next turn, but that should be fine for now. Something else I did in the last episode is I was retraining this unit of armoured hoplites, but in fact Batavium can't actually retrain armoured hoplites properly, so we're going to have to send them back to Arretium instead. Let's focus on training just some peasants, I think, just to shore up that public order. Let's go back to Segesta. Segesta's also fairly happy. I think we can risk sending our barbarians out. That does keep them pretty happy. Let's go for training some peasants as well. Then we're going to go back to this guy. We're going to pick up some more mercenaries, and we're going to keep pushing to the south. We're going to take our forces from Mazaka. I think this should be safe, because they're not really doing too much. We have got some fairly okay firepower in that town. Let's just go ahead and get some more peasants just to fix them up. Then we're going to go back to Tarsus. We're going to cancel the hoplite. We're going to go for a Byreme. And with a Byreme, we're going to try and go to Cyprus and capture that town as quick as we can. Hopefully before we get destroyed by the Seleucid fleet, which is entirely possible. But on the turn that we spawn, we should at least be safe in our docks. So we'll see how that goes. In this town, I think we carry on training armoured hoplites. That's fine. And then next we have our attack on Hatra. And Hatra is pretty weakly guarded, but at the same time this force does have a lot of mercenaries which we can't retrain. So I think we do go for this one manually, unless it's really in our favour. That is a decent chance, but I think we should just go for this manually. Okay, so the path to the town centre looks pretty straightforward. Let's just use these. Let's see what they start off with. So they've got Militia Cav, that is actually their general unit, and not too much in the way of infantry, so I think we do just go for the gates. We don't really have many range units. We have these, we have Mercenary Peltasts. If the Mercenary Peltasts die, I think that's fine, but we do want to try and keep our Bedouin archers alive as much as possible. So let's send our hoplites forward. If they take a few shots, that's fine. And let's speed this up.
The enemy gate is down! Our battering ram has done its work!
Okay, so next question is, do we charge in, or do we invite them to waste as much ammo as possible? I think this Militia Cav unit has actually used all of its ammo. And to be fair, I shouldn't be too precious about preserving Eastern Mercenaries, because they're not great. Their morale is also pretty poor, so this is a little bit risky, but of course if we send in the hoplites, they're not going to be in formation. So we're going to have to just see how this goes. We're going to send our general up just to try and make up for that terrible morale. And let's send in at least one unit of hoplites, as these guys are moving in extremely slowly. This should be fine. Like, these units are absolutely terrible, but this should be a favourable matchup. They are charging in towards us. We're already shaken, so yeah, it's not looking too great. We have got our hoplites coming in. Defeat is almost a certainty. Yeah, it's not actually looking too good. We've got our general here just to shore things up. Let's rally the troops just in case. I think we are going to need some more units in here. Let's bring up another unit of hoplites. Okay, they're actually gaining in confidence, so they're still shaken, but the balance of forces is now evenly matched. I still think they're going to break before they pull anything off. They've actually turned steady, but then back to shaken. I could send in the general. It's a little bit risky though. I think if he dies, that's a real problem for us. So just have to take our chances. They are now wavering as we are shaken, so we do actually win that one. And we should be able to bring in our hoplites nice and safely. There we go, we've scared them off. Let's bring our hoplites in. Okay, General goes straight towards us. I think he's just trying to throw his javelins, but he does actually charge into us. So if we're lucky, we might be able to rout this guy a little bit sooner than we otherwise would have been able to. Managed to send a couple of our men flying in the air, despite being nowhere near them, but that's just Rome Total War physics for you. They're down to 80 men, they're already shaken, so yeah, that's looking pretty good. And then in the town square, they've got Peltas, they've got scythed chariots, which could be kind of dangerous, but if we form up tight enough, that should be fine. These guys, I'm pretty sure, will flee against us. Drop our spears. Okay, so they break. But ideally we want to kill the man himself, which we do. He goes flying all over the place. Rome Total War physics once again, and they're pretty much all dead, so let's just move straight forward. We want to form a nice big block, and that does actually look just about right. Yeah, that's perfect. So the Peltas will be able to attack us, the Chariots will come charging in, hopefully. Perhaps we do want to make contact with the town square, because once we've done that, it should spring the Peltas to life, which is the safest option for us. But I think realistically, we're more likely to be out of position if we do that. Chariots do scare infantry, so it's a little bit risky. Best thing to do, I think, is just to accept that the Peltas are going to be able to launch a few volleys on us. I think that's fine. The general's going back in, but immediately routed. Don't think we took a loss there either. Peltas are going to spread out. Scythe Chariots, they should actually have a couple of units of... yeah, militia hoplites. Just not really bothered about us. So what's going on here? Let's have a look. So the Peltas actually came in for melee combat. I'm not sure if they meant to do that. That doesn't really make a lot of sense. They are getting a few kills, so let's focus them down specifically. They are scared off. We're going to move in a little bit closer. We need to keep an eye on the mercenary Peltas, or the... what they called? Not mercenary Peltas. Militia hoplites, completely different thing. They could come in and cause us some problems, so we have to be a little bit cautious there. The Peltas are now firing on us. The scythe chariots are pretty nearby, so I think we do have to hold our position, as we're actually facing the wrong direction, so I'm amazed we're not taking more losses. And there's only 15 of those left. Militia Cav, 18 men on that unit, and the Peltas are also pretty weak, so I think we do just go straight for the town square. They are actually running amok, so they should kill off a few of their own units now. Let's just try and finish this as quickly as possible. The hoplites are moving towards us. But we should be able to hold them off, so that should be fine. Okay, so the chariots are going into us, but they do die instantly because they make contact with so many spears at the same time. They do have those massive hitboxes, which makes them pretty easy to deal with if you know what you're doing, chariots. I do think they're kind of overrated. Especially now, because they used to be super good in auto-resolve in the original game, but in Rome Remastered, they're a bit more balanced. See, if we just attack this guy, he should go down. No, he actually got past us, so I stand corrected, but we should be able to handle these as long as we face the right direction, or if we focus on them specifically. They're running amok there, so I think, yeah, a few of those were actually kills. The chariot goes into us, gets killed, we've taken the town square. Try and kill this. Okay, so that's done. Let's form up. These guys are pushing into the militia hoplites, which should be a victory for us. They should have another unit, or possibly we destroyed that at the same time, not really sure. Yeah, it looks like it is just that one.
enemy
And we do win.
This is a heroic victory.
Okay, I think that's fine. We do want to retrain our hoplites if we can, and from what I remember about the Seleucid start, this is not a great town. Tends to just be taken by Armenia pretty quickly unless you really go out of your way to defend it. So the total population is probably about 6,000. If only I could remember what that symbol means. I think that's just a basic town. If I occupy it, I can't really leave, so I think I do just have to exterminate it. Let's have a look. So in terms of our options, we can actually go for the militia barracks, which enables us to retrain our hoplites. Unfortunately, that is going to take 3 turns, which is not ideal. We can build militia cav, we can build spies, diplomats. I think we're going to go for militia cav. We're going to go for the blacksmith retraining. And yeah, we're going to wait for the militia barracks to finish potentially, or we could step outside. Let's fuse a few of these losses together. Okay, so we've got 4-ish healthy units of hoplites. We've got all of our mercenaries left alive, almost. We should probably be okay just to push to the east, as there's probably already been some fighting between Parthia and the Seleucid Empire. We do have our spy, so we can go have a look.
Yes, master.
Let's just go straight to the east, as that doesn't really reveal anything. We'll probably be safe just to step out if we drop this to a low tax rate. And if we leave 1 unit of spearmen behind. Okay, 80% public order, that should be fine. Let's keep going east. And I'm also actually going to take this unit of hoplites and send them across to Tarsus just to board the ships as soon as possible. Then we're going to go back to Tanais, and I think I will actually take this merchant and just use him as a bit of a scout, because we can see a road. This should reveal, I think, the next Scythian town. So it's quite far north. I don't think, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's not the Amazon town. So I don't think I'll be wasting my time if I go up in that direction. Neither of these guys are going to make much of a difference to the public order situation. Let's see how they handle this. I think this will be just too much for them. Let's have a look. No, they actually stay at 90% public order, so that's perfect. We can actually just go ahead, pick up some more hoplites, and we can probably afford to send out a couple more of these units. That drops them to 70%, but 70% should be safe from rioting. So we're going to push straight up. We're going to throw up a watchtower. And while we're doing that, let's actually go to this town as well, because I want to do the same thing with this. This guy's 19 years old. If he dies, I think that's fine. We're going to send him down to this place. We're going to see what we can see. So there's... don't know how to pronounce that. Ayuvavum? Maybe? Something like that. It's got some okay defenders. We're going to throw up a watchtower so we can see a little bit further. We've got this force coming towards it next turn, so that should be fine. They might come back and attack this guy instead, which wouldn't be an issue because it would just leave them defenseless in their town. I've also got this 25-year-old guy with 1 command star, not much else. I'll do the same thing with him. Send him to the west. Put up a watchtower, and that doesn't really reveal too much, but still good to know. Got these forces moving towards this town. We've got these guys who are going to go join up with this town. And we're going to pick up, I think, another unit of militia cav, and in this town we're going to go for our usual peasants, I think. We're going to send this diplomat to the south to see if we can bribe Bostra. I think the Cyrene situation looks completely fine, so we're actually going to take this fleet. We're going to go to the west, see if we can find out anything about Lepsis Magna, which I think is in this part of the world. I'm not sure exactly where, but pretty close to all of this stuff. I can't see too much else we can do this turn. We could keep recruiting things, which is definitely an option, but we are kind of at the point where it shouldn't really matter too much. I'll go for some peasants in this town just so we can actually move out. Thessalonica's still got the plague. We've got this force, which I actually forgot about. I'm not actually sure if there's 1 settlement or 2 settlements in this part of the map. I would like to go and scout. I'm going to try separating 1 unit of these, which we do. We can find Salona. And if we move up in this direction, I think there is another town, just kind of in this part of the map, pretty close to Aquincum. So we need to move towards that as well. This next town I think we can probably go for. It's got their faction heir, which is kind of dangerous. But still, we're going to go for it. It's 2 units of peasants, 2 units of Hastati, and 1 very strong general's bodyguard, which could be a problem, but 4 units of armored hoplites, 2 units of archers, 1 unit of Greek cav just to sweep things up. That should be massively in our favour. And I think that concludes a very productive turn. We could, as I kind of mentioned, just keep building various buildings and things, but I don't think there's much of a need at this point. If anything, we should probably start going for diplomats and things like that. I am going to go for a diplomat in this town, just in case. And I think we'll end the turn there. Just see what happens. So we've got a few units on the move, but I think all in all we should be pretty safe.
Greetings.
Apparently we have a great relationship with these guys. I'm not sure how. I don't know how that really works. I will accept this. As usual, they're not willing to go for an alliance. I'll offer them map information, and I'll ask them for 2,000 gold. Or denarii even. They still consider that generous. Let's go for 3,000 instead. This is not just giving us extra money, it's also depriving money from one of our final opponents. Potential opponents. They accept it for 3,000. That's fine. As they actually go and besiege this, which I was just about to go for. That's really annoying. Also, that force is surely not strong enough to take that town. So that's kind of frustrating. Germania wants to talk to us. They want a ceasefire. Let's see if they will consider becoming our protectorates. I don't think that's going to work. Okay, I think we just simply say no to this. Still no sign of Britannia, and Armenia does actually repel that force, so that's perfect. We don't have to declare war on Parthia just to get through. They do actually come to attack us here. So it's time to find out what they have. 3 units of warband and 1 general's bodyguard. The general's bodyguard could be dangerous, but he has to chase us down. I'm not sure we can win this because, of course, this balance of power does not take into account the difficulty settings, but I feel like we have the right composition for this, so let's give it a go. Okay, so there's the 3 units of warband. They've got a unit of peasants as well. What I really need to do is I need to catch out the warlord. I need to surround him on all sides, but he's staying quite defensive at the moment, which is not ideal. While he's distracted, I guess we can go and weaken his warband. I think the big risk here is we probably don't have enough javelins to really do enough damage to these warbands, and they do of course counter us. General is going to come out. Let's just see what damage we can do to these in the meantime. Bring our general up too. Go for the attack against these. See how much damage we can do. So yeah, these units do not have much ammo. They're going to be depleted extremely quickly. But they do turn their backs to us, and we've actually done a lot of damage to them. We might be able to scare them off just by charging them, although their backup is coming in, so got to play it safe. We do manage to rout that unit. Let's go for the next. We've got about half of our shots left. Unfortunately, I don't think we can really chase them down. We have to scare this one off too. They're wavering too. I'm going to try charging into them as we do break them. Let's go for the next unit. We are taking a few losses. I think some of that must be friendly fire. These guys are shaken. See if we can scare them as well. We can break all 3 of them. That's the ideal outcome. But it says they are still steady, as I think some of our forces have run out of ammo. Okay, so we actually rout them. We have to just charge them down. This guy is coming towards us, which is a big risk, but these are free kills, so we've got to go for it. Try and get as many free kills as we can. What I might do is just leave 2 units to do that and send the rest back, because this general's bodyguard is the real threat. Have to bring up our own general just to be safe. This could go bad because he's probably going to chase down our pursuers. I'm not sure about this. This could be a mistake, but he's about to engage us. I think we do just have to surround him. We really need the general to get involved. He's extremely confident. Victory seems certain. We need these to not mass rout until the general arrives. We are surrounding him. He thinks defeat is almost a certainty, and we do rout him. Didn't actually need our general in the end.
The gods be praised! The enemy's hearts are full of fear, and now they flee.
Alright, so
The enemy general is dead. His men know their doom approaches.
that seemed pretty good. Unfortunately, because they do have the backup peasants, even though they were all routing at the same time, they do have the next force we have to deal with too. I think our general alone can probably handle the warband if they step out, and because it's them who attacked us, they eventually, I think, do have to go aggressive. Let's not screw this up by being routed by peasants. I think we take this slow. Barbarian peasants are okay too, they're a bit better than normal peasants. Let's just move a little bit closer, try and get a bit of a mass. So these guys are still eager. I'm not sure if we should go for this. Ideally we wouldn't be stuck in the town, so the pathfinding is not going to be good. It's going to be harder to surround them. Still have to look out for these as well. So nobody should be on skirmish mode at this point. We're going to try and charge them. Let's just see what happens. See if we actually do some damage to them. Says they're eager. We're charging around the wrong way by the looks of it with all of our units. That makes no sense to me. Need to try and surround them if we can. Says they're very tired. They thought defeat was almost a certainty. So if we can just hit them from both sides. Make sure we go in the right direction. They now think it's pretty favorable. I want to see if I can attack them without going the long way round. We win. Okay. So I was kind of hoping that would happen, but I think my big fear there was that we were going to run out of javelins before we could finish off the warband, but the warband do actually go down surprisingly easy. So we take that town for ourselves. It's got almost no population, so I think we can just occupy it. And I think the House of Julii, they are actually going to attack us. This is a really good force. They attack us with 3 units of war dogs, and in the town, they've got a pretty average force. Now, because they've attacked us, they have to come to us, which makes this a lot easier, particularly because we're using hoplites. This can't really go wrong, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so not exactly a hill, but it is a bit of an incline. I think what we should probably do is just park all of our units on this corner. We're gonna stick our archers in behind. And we're gonna use our cav just to chase down the ballista. Let's try this. Check I've left no one behind, as they actually spawn over there. So their main force has arrived as backup in that part of the map. Or the field even. Let's go right up against the corners. Okay, that should work. So we've got our cav. These are of course free to maneuver. Just have to look out for the ballistas, which should be coming in, unless they've forgotten their equipment. Have they forgotten their equipment? Oh no, they have got it. Okay, so we just have to wait for them to get a little bit separated. We've got Roman general there, which we should probably charge with our various units. Equites, Stati. That 2 generals? I can't actually remember. I think it's just the 1 general. Yeah, so Equites, 1 unit of Roman general. Few units of Equites. Velites could be kind of annoying, but our archers should actually beat them. I'm gonna try and spread these out just in case. Have to be a little bit careful. I do want to minimize the cav's exposure. Our cav is not great. Okay, so at this point, they've still got their Roman general towards the back. So we probably can't actually go for those ballistas just yet. Equites, Astarte. They're going towards our cav. I don't think we want to engage. These guys should be able to fire pretty soon. The Cretians have slightly longer range, so they can start firing now. Just pull away. Equites considering going in for a charge. Let's line up like this. So we could just go for these Equites. We might be fine to do that. They've got some more Equites there. If we charge them with all of our units at once, we should be able to rout them, I think. As they're steady, and they do rout. Let's go for the next. There is actually, yeah, there is a second Roman general, but he's only got 9 men. Let's focus on the Equites first. These guys do charge into our Phalanx, and they get destroyed. We have engaged the Hastati, which is not ideal. I probably don't need to take this many losses, I need to be a little bit careful. We have scared the general. So these are the reinforcements, which means we ideally don't want too many to escape. The Equites have escaped. Quite a few Equites, over 100 Equites. But we want to try and rout the rest. If we can rout these, that'd be great. We are surrounding them, so I don't want to disengage. The Velites is just running around. Yeah, they're doing some real damage to us. I think I need to be a little bit more careful with my cav. We do eventually rout them. We'll go for the Velites next. I wish there was some way we could tell them to attack, but like, attack in a way where they don't move. Because the big risk is that they start going after them. The general's coming towards us now. This is really bad, because we don't have much room to maneuver, as he does catch up to our barbarian cav. We're going to try and move through the Phalanx, and hopefully he'll charge us. He's not going to have much of a choice. Let's focus these two on the general. Yeah, so Velites have been broken. We need to kill the man himself, so let's have a look for him. He's right there on the front line. There's a good chance we do kill him. There we go. No need to chase him down. He's not going to be defending the town. We've killed him off. Okay. At this point, I think we're good just to chase after these. We do have the war dogs as well. I forgot about those. They are slowly approaching us, but they shouldn't be too much of a threat. So that's the fleeing general. All of those units are not coming back. Let's speed this up. Need to stop attacking with these.
The gods be praised! The enemy's hearts are full of fear, and now they flee.
Okay, so I think few enough of them escaped that we can just auto-resolve the next fight. The war dogs are very tired. I don't want to fight them. I think they are going to come for us, but I want them to run straight into the Phalanx. I don't feel at all bad about doing this because we have been extremely aggressive, and Phalanxes can be really good, but they're also kind of a defensive unit. We've not been able to use them like that too many times. So if I continue this, am I going to lose all my men to the dogs? Because the dogs are not going to rout. I'm just going to end the battle. I'm not going to risk it. Okay, so the town does survive, but should be able to take that straight away at the start of next turn. Candidate for adoption, Palemon of Kos. Where's he popped up? He's popped up in Sparta, that's fine. Carthaginian agent has been found in Lilybaeum. I'm not sure how he got there, that's kind of surprising. Carthage is still not too happy, but it's not rebelling. It's not rioting. It's still not looking too good. I think we have to send some units back. I think we'll send this guy back. That slightly improves things. Don't think there's much point sending anyone else back. Okay, so let's go up to this. Let's take this straight away. We shouldn't need to overthink this. There should be pretty much nothing left. Let's auto-resolve it. They get a few kills, but not as many as us, and we can exterminate them. So we've taken their town. We're going to drop it to a low tax rate. What else can we do? So I think roads is probably worth going for. Sure, I've not heard this soundtrack before. Okay, so we've got a merchant. The merchant is free to go pretty much wherever we please. I think I'm not going to overthink this. I might even just auto-manage him. Okay, so Eumenes of Sparta has become a confident commander. He has taken this town. We can go after the... I think these are the peasants, possibly. Let's just scare them off. What is this soundtrack? Is it because we're within 5 regions? We're very close to the end. Extremely close. Antigonus the Conqueror has taken his father's place. But his father did do most of the work. It is just the peasants. Let's auto-resolve. They somehow get 40 kills against us. The public order in that town has dropped to 0. Let's just put in any unit we can. These guys should be enough, I think. 50%. We take them to a low tax rate, and we get some peasants. That should fix that. We're going to move this guy straight on towards the next town. We're going to throw up a watchtower. We can see where they fled to. Quite a few of them actually survived somehow. Showing these guys up if we can. Okay, so I think that town should just about be safe. There's not really too many people around there. We can see that the defenders in Corellis are just town militia. It is just a basic town, or in fact a large town, but probably only recently a large town. So it should be fine. Yep, just to auto-resolve this as well. Do get a lot more kills than them. We take the town, and I think I'll exterminate this because it's just not going to be doing anything too useful. It's not too happy with us. That was the right decision. Let's train up some peasants. Let's fuse a few of these together. Then let's get back in the ships. So before we do, we should take these out. Ah, crap. Misclick. Oh, that's not a good misclick at all. That's a really bad misclick. It was going so well. It was going so well. Okay, so these guys are not going to be able to take the town back straight away because the peasants are going to be recruited. Unfortunately. Well, we can actually get them with these. But it's not really the right type of units. Maybe I just go back to the town, although it looks like I can't actually go into the town. So I'm gonna have to attack them. I'm willing to risk this. Okay, so they've gone for the hill. That's fine, we are plenty maneuverable. We're going to go and walk, just to save as much energy as possible. We're going to try and sneak behind them, and we're going to try and use this very slight hill to our advantage. Okay, we've taken the high ground. Let's see if we can scare the minions first. Hopefully hit them in the back before they turn around, as unfortunately we're not going to be able to. We do charge into them. They are wavering. We've lost about 10% of our units, so not a great start. They're still only shaken. The general has not charged into us yet. We have to scare these off. We do break them. General does come for us. We have to try and pull away before we take too many losses. I'm not confident about this. But the more we kill, the fewer are able to attack Corellis next turn. Let's move right to the corner. See if we can waste some of their energy. They are still fresh. As they change to warmed up. Maybe it's worth just trying to exhaust their energy. That was close. Winded. Okay, so still winded, same as us. Tired. Let's have a look. Very tired. Let's get them too exhausted, then let's try charging. See if we can get the hill to our advantage as well. Exhausted? Okay, let's give this a go. There we go. Perfect.
Gods be praised. This
Okay, so let's go back into Corrales. That takes them straight back up to 45%. We're going to sail these up to these guys to pick them up next turn. Can pick them up this turn. Probably fine to do so. We're going to go straight west towards Parma. Seleucid Empire and Parthia have become allies. It doesn't really affect us too much, I don't think. Let's see if we can bribe Bostra. They're a little bit too far away, unfortunately. Okay, so next thing to go for is Sidon. It's a large city, but it's pretty weakly defended. We've got a nice strong force here. A few more mercenaries available to us, so let's go for those. Let's actually pile into these ships first. So we've got these guys who are going to jump on. Once these guys board, I don't think we can still make it to Cyprus, as no we can't, that's all of our movement gone, but never mind. Join up with these guys too. Let's go and pick up some peasants. And we should be able to get across to Cyprus next turn, that should be fine. Okay, let's go back to this guy, let's see if this is indeed a Julii town. It's actually not, it's Gaul. I forgot about Gaul, because I'm so used to them being destroyed. Gaul is another faction we've had no encounters with. They could actually beat us if we just have these forces. We can go stand on the bridge. I think that doesn't actually enable us to besiege the town, or if it does, should they decide to attack us, we don't get a bridge battle, so it's not as easy as it looks. Maybe we don't want to do it. I think we should probably think a bit more about that one before we commit. Let's go back to Sidon. Let's see how this looks in terms of the auto-resolve. Okay, but not great. I think we do want to just give this one a go. Okay, so the gates are already open. Let's see where they actually start out. So in the town square, they've got their onagers. Chariot General is towards the east, and the bowmen have all started off on the walls. Okay, so I think we do want to try and sap that. Radiant Slingers are a bit too useful. Can these guys do it? Looks like they can. Let's try with these as well. These guys can do it. These guys are pretty useless, so I think we send them in. If they get attacked, that's not a problem. We're going to put them in loose formation. We're going to try and waste as much ammo as possible from the Pharaoh's Guards, or the Pharaoh's Bowmen even. These guys are really good. We decided not to go with Siege Towers in the end, so they're going to be able to do some damage to us. Not sure if we're going to be routed. Says we're digging, so we should be fine. Don't think we're going to get too many kills, but we're still going to go for this just for the sake of attempting to get a few kills and wasting some of their shots. So we've lost almost all of our units. There we go, that's how good they are, but it's fine. We're going to let them waste as many shots as possible. I'm not sure if we can actually see how many they have left. Probably not. So what we could do is we could just rush in. That is a thing we could do. I think we might get a few kills. Let's see. No, they get away with it. So we've effectively just damaged our own walls for pretty much nothing, but the good news is they have kept firing at us this entire time. Says we're idle, but there's a red flag, which I think means we're waiting to rout until we all get out, which we then do. We do flee. And the Pharaoh's Bowmen are just going to fire at us all the way out. I think they actually completely wiped out the unit. They are now moving across, which I think means it's probably time to go in. Let's go hoplites first, or in fact, maybe the General should go in. General could definitely do well against this stuff, although Chariots would absolutely destroy the General, so maybe not. We're going to take these guys out of Phalanx stance. We want to get them in as soon as possible. We probably want to try and engage the Pharaoh's Bowmen as soon as possible, but these guys, if these guys shoot down at us from the walls, they're going to do tons of damage. So we might actually want to climb up onto the walls if we can. Unfortunately, because we did do that damage with the sap point, we can't get across the walls to fight them like that, so that's not really going to work. These guys are going to get shot, so let's move them across. These guys as well. No point risking this. So they're able to fire on these as well. Okay, not great. Okay, let's slow this down. Have we taken this? Nope, we have to get up on top of it, I think. Make sure that we get extra kills instead of them. Gonna rush towards these, and I think these guys unfortunately are gonna stay on the walls. So these guys are good enough in melee that I am a bit worried about the hoplites' performance. I'm not sure if they're gonna quite get the job done. The gateway is apparently still owned by the Egyptians, so we're taking tons of losses as these guys have started firing on us. I think we just ignore this. We can just go in a different direction instead. I think these guys are waiting until everyone gathers up before they go onto the walls. We really need them to go up as soon as possible. They do have their orders, they are queuing up, but in the meantime we're taking dozens of losses. You can just see the bodies littering the field. That looks really cool. Councillor's Chambers. Alright, so we've taken the gate tower at last. The Pharaoh's bowmen are retreating towards the town square. We're just going to go in this direction, I think, unless we send these guys across to grab some walls, which we probably should. Speed this up, see if they come towards us. So we are taking some losses to this force, which I think means these guys can attack us. Let's move away, as we have taken a couple of extra towers for ourselves. I'm sure I could have done this with far fewer losses, but this is probably fine. They're not going to go back onto the walls. They have come off the walls with their Pharaoh's bowmen. They did get a bit more experience, unfortunately, but if we just avoid them, go straight for the town square, at some point they're going to have to rush into it. Onager is taking some shots. We're a pretty big target, so we could take some losses. We are also exhausted, so that's a bit of a risk as well. I think we have to form up like this. It's dangerous, but we don't want to get routed by the chariots. Really some very tired units, unfortunately. Let's try going like this. Yeah, we're just getting shot to pieces. I think we just need to... The thing is, as soon as we make contact, I think they should change behavior. That is what usually happens. In the meantime, we're taking a lot of damage. I think we just have to move in. A little bit scared of the Chariot General. Says we're still eager, but because we are exhausted, I wouldn't have too much confidence in that. Pharaoh's bowmen are running towards us. Hopefully they've just run out of ammo. We are taking some damage from the onagers. Pharaoh's bowmen charge straight into our phalanx. Let's make sure we keep the phalanx position up. The other Pharaoh's bowmen, I think, are possibly going to come towards us. The Chariot General, I didn't realize this. I thought he was a melee unit, but he's actually another type of archer. We have got our first routers. This is where I begin to get worried. Yeah, I think I've rushed this a bit too much. Okay. General's on his way in, just to help fix the morale, as it does result in a mass rout. I guess it was going a bit too well. These guys are now surrounded by Pharaoh's bowmen. Yeah, I did say these guys are decent in melee. Obviously didn't help the exhaustion situation. Got to worry about the onagers as well. They are actually still holding out, this one particular unit. I think we need to bring in everyone we possibly can, which includes these. And includes these. And even the peltasts. So we've got some armored hoplites. These guys kind of are going to regroup. These guys do rout. So I think we want to wait until the general comes up. Just so that the morale situation stabilizes slightly. Let's just line up if we can. So these guys are getting destroyed. I think they just lost some experience too. Right, well, we'll keep them nicely distracted with that. That's fine. These guys are not going to charge us. We could maybe go more aggressive, but I want to see if we can get some of that energy back. Hoplites are moving in. Put them in phalanx stance. Need to just actually group these up. General has almost arrived. This should help. Let's rally the troops. And let's start going for this. I'm going to select one unit at a time. Chariot General does come in. Phalanxes are pretty close to perfect against Chariots. Chariots do scare us, which might be part of the reason for... Need to be careful with the General here, it's really risky. Chariots just completely destroy Cav. Chariots do scare infantry, but they're also pretty easily beaten due to their big hitboxes and complete lack of defense. These units have already routed once, so it's kind of dangerous. I think we need our armored hoplites to go in as much as we can. If we can kill their general, that's going to help us a lot too. There we go. Let's see, so they're now all steady. That's looking pretty good. The rest of the chariots go in, and yeah, like I said, as soon as they make contact with the spears, they do lose a hit point, and they've only got about 5 hit points each. Let's move in towards these. They're wavering, so they should break. They do have the onages in the town, so it's not quite that simple. And they've got more Pharaoh's Bowmen too. I thought that was the 2 different units, but it's just the one. Okay, let's go armored hoplites in first. Okay, gonna take this risk. They can't rout, so it's not worth trying to scare them too much. Main thing is to keep the general alive. Okay, keep the general close. The armored hoplites are taking the bulk of the losses, which is fine because they are less likely to break. Let's see. So these guys, they're wavering. They say defeat seems almost certain, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. The next one breaks. What I could do with my general, to be fair, is I could charge him in. Don't think there's any chariots left. Need to be a bit careful. But looks like he is going to survive. So let's go for these. Not our best fight, but these guys, I think the actual handlers have stats pretty similar to just basic peasants. So I don't think they should really get too many kills against us. Yep, so we wipe those out and we can then move in and finish off the rest. I've got a couple of guys left, but that's fine. Okay. They can't all be great fights, that was not the best. This town I think is pretty good, it looks very majestic, so I'm going to use that as a good reason to assume that we will be able to, yeah, I mean look at that population. We should be able to retrain. Or in fact we can't, but that might just be because... No, they never built a barracks. So it's a really good town, but completely lacking a barracks. I think we go Shrine to Athena, because the public order situation is not great. We probably do want to move on. We can at least recruit archers, we can also recruit heavy peltasts. We've not seen them so far this campaign. They're really good. They're probably the best range unit Greece has, with the obvious caveat being that they are very short-ranged. But they're pretty good. I think we should get a few of those if we can. We've also picked up an extremely Egyptian-looking merchant, who nonetheless swears fealty to us. Let's send him to the olive oil, I guess. Then let's take this guy and let's have a look. So this is 50% chance of success. We can see what's in there, it's not too tough. This is kind of scary, considering the losses we've taken. But on the open field should be fine. Let's move towards these. That's pretty weak. Okay, so we've taken Sidon. Let's actually check this. 2 more regions to go. So I think I would like one of those to be one of the Romans' towns, if possible. We are able to attack this. There is the faction leader. He has become faction leader. Apart from that, though, it's just peasants. So let's just auto-resolve this. He gets a few kills, not too many. And that is the end of the Julii. Just unlocked the achievement, so I know that is definitely the case. Just a weak town. Julii are gone. And I still feel like there should be another town, unless it's owned by the rebels. Looks like it is. So I'm kind of surprised by that. If I had some cav, I would send them out. This is the best I can do, I think. I'm gonna go have a look. There we go, Suggestica. 2 defenders. Throw up a watchtower. Yep. So somehow the Julii either never took that, or it rebelled against them, or... I'm not really sure. I'm really surprised they never attacked that. Can't actually see what's in there. Could send over a couple of units of barbarians just to get their next turn. I don't think these guys probably can. Greek Cav can, I think. No, not quite. Okay, so I would like to know what's in there, of course. If I have a spy, that would be perfect, but I'm not sure I do. Can, of course, go for this Germanian town as well. It's pretty weak. I should have actually brought my spy down, just to make that a little bit easier. I could also send my Greek Cav towards Gestica. Might as well do that, that should be fine. These guys have... Can't really tell, looks like they have mostly Spear Warband. Spear Warband are a bit better than Warband, because they can form a Phalanx. Okay, Patavium not too happy. We're going to go and recruit some more peasants. We're going to check the repair situation. This, I think, should improve things. We can also go for the Shrine to Athena, so let's go for that. Anyway, we have lots of places we can expand to. We've got Suggestica, of course, in the west. To be fair, I think we wouldn't have been able to go much further with Minos of Pella. We've got these guys going to the west towards Parma. We've got these guys to the south of Carthage. The ones on the left, we're going to go towards Nepte. The ones on the right, let's actually have a look. So I'm going to actually take a couple of these cav units and just see exactly where Leptis Magna is. There it is. Okay, so that wouldn't have been quite so easy, but we could have easily taken that as well. That would have just needed a couple of turns. The reason I'm now talking like this is because we have really caught the end of this campaign a lot sooner than expected. I still feel like we could expand a lot further. We also have this diplomat, of course, going towards Bostra. We've got these forces in Sidon, which could move towards Jerusalem. We've got these forces moving towards what's left of the Seleucids. We've got this guy who's about to attack the capital of Armenia, and these guys who probably would also get stopped, but could potentially go for this town too. And then we've got these forces which are pushing to the north for one of the final Scythian towns. Let's see if we can actually find it. Still not really sure where that is. Let's have a look. To the left? No. Okay, so that would have taken a couple more turns, but really we do just need that one final settlement, and it's crept up on us really quickly. We are actually only 34 turns into the campaign, and my kind of goal for the campaign was to capture one settlement for each turn, so i.e. finish the campaign ahead of turn 50, but we've done that a lot sooner than expected, and it kind of became about proving my point that I really do think the Greeks are an extremely powerful faction, easily one of the best factions in the game, certainly as far as the campaign goes. Their economy is just crazy. Our economy has just absolutely carried us through. There's been almost nothing we couldn't do in this campaign. We've just been making so much money, and we're now making even more than we were at our peak, which is not too surprising given how much we've expanded, but it's really been a demonstration of the power of this faction, and I really stand by the video I made a while back where I said that the Greeks are probably one of the top 5 beginner-friendly factions in the game. That was, I think, slightly controversial because, of course, you do have this situation, and it did kind of hold us back towards the start of the campaign. the fight with the two Roman families at once, just holding us into Syracuse pretty much. We couldn't really expand beyond Syracuse, but once we overcame that hurdle, there was not really anything to stop us, so that kind of speaks to how strong this faction can be, in particular the armoured hoplites, which do come in much sooner than even the Marian reforms. So yeah, it's been fun. Final thing to do, which I kind of forgot about, is Cyrene. Only 2 units in here. They are going to be reinforced. So I guess we will take this one properly. This is going to be the final fight of the campaign. Let's go for it. Okay, so no easy way into the town square. I think best thing to do is to come at it from this angle. Ideally we'd be attacking it from this angle instead. That would be a nice straight path. We do want to try and grab ourselves the town square as soon as possible. Then it should just be a case of holding off the reinforcements as they come towards us. We're going to drop the ram with these archers, and we're going to take it up with the Libyan mercenaries instead. Going to send these guys straight to the gate, and I should have brought these over too. I've slightly rushed this. Let's bring them across, make sure they stay out of range of the towers. Let's move in with our armoured hoplites, who should be easily capable of handling Nubian spearmen, which are pretty much on the same tier as the likes of militia hoplites, so not really a threat at all. We can in fact go and shoot them. I think that should be fine. Let's go straight for them. So the reinforcements are coming towards us very quickly. We can see 2 units of desert cavalry, which are actually pretty scary. Towards the back they've got desert axemen and I think 4 units of Nile spearmen and 1 partial unit. So Nile spearmen I think are a step above the Nubians, but if we can get in and take that town square before they can reach us, we should be able to hold them off in a strong position. We've got these guys too, which I forgot to bring across. Let's rush them across too. They should be fine. I'm not too worried about the exhaustion situation. The Desert Cav I think will reach us, so we probably have to be prepared to meet them. They do have armor-piercing weapons, which means they are a threat to our general. We have to be a little bit careful. If we can trick them into engaging our phalanx, we should be okay. Looking kind of dicey. I'm not sure we're going to get there in time. Maybe I have to take these guys off phalanx stance. I think they are going to clash with us though. We just have to see if they turn around or if they focus fully on this unit. They are going to attack, and they do actually rout that unit of mercenaries, but the main thing is we've caught the bulk of their forces using our armoured hoplites, and if these guys flee it doesn't really matter too much. We can just pick up the ram with someone else, and that shouldn't really be an issue. Let's push straight through them, and let's go for this next unit too. So hopefully these guys will regain their courage. They've actually not routed yet, the main unit, so let's go for them. Okay, this is risky. Have to try and keep our generals safe from their armor-piercing attack. They are going to try to withdraw into the town itself. We have routed both units, so let's just try and grab as many easy kills as we can. And let's try and push into the town. I think they're trying to get past the ram. I'm not really sure exactly what's happening. Coming towards us on this side, we've got the Desert Axemen and the 4 units of Nile Spearmen. They are, I think, going to have to try and come through this gate. They could get through another gate instead, but looks like they are going to come straight for us, which means we have lost this unit too. Which means we can probably actually just attack them with our archers instead of worrying so much about getting into the town. Group these guys up and let's line them up. Okay, so those guys are moving forwards. The archers have regained their courage. Okay, let's go for this. So I think the Libyan spearmen, or the Libyan mercenaries, have been attacked by some kind of tower. I think it's that tower just there, which shouldn't be able to attack us from now on. As long as we hold this position, we should be fine. Desert Axemen are charging towards these. We actually don't have skirmish mode on, which means we do get caught. Let's just double check this. Okay, so we've routed the Desert Axemen. Let's turn our attention to the Nile Spearmen, and let's use our general just to mop these up. Does look like they're going to run straight through us. Okay, let's make sure we catch as many as possible. Using flaming ammo just to try to scare them. If we can rout them, that'd be perfect. So Nile Spearmen definitely do have better morale than Nubian Spearmen, but still relatively weak. They're still pretty basic infantry units. They've kind of turned their backs to us. We can shoot them. That would be perfect. These guys still have most of their ammo left, as they are going to move towards our armored hoplites. Let's try and close the gap. Okay, first unit breaks. I think if we charge into the back of these, that should break the rest. Yep, so these guys are wavering, these guys are broken too. Yep, so that's pretty much everyone. We need these guys to stop firing. And we're going to try and sweep up as many of these as we can before they make it back to the town square. Yep, so they're going to try and run straight through our phalanx, and we are able to mop up the vast majority of them extremely easily. And we can now send these guys to finish off the gates, because I don't think... Yeah, our units are kind of not permitted to go through. A couple of their final soldiers do manage to get through the gates. This is a little bit risky, but I think they will stay put in the town square. So let's just try and get our archers in there. Let's try and bring the general in too. And finally we have these guys. So they have a few desert cavalry coming towards us, but only just 5 men. And they do break before they reach us, even though we are archers. That's perfect. Let's speed this up. So we have pretty much forced the gates open. They're not actually destroyed yet, but they're not going to have the chance to close. Let's move these guys up, and let's make sure we can actually fire on these. This is risky because they could come and charge us, but nope. I thought we would escape in time. Let's put skirmish mode back on. Let's run these out. So they're going to kind of chase us down. We've taken a lot of losses there. That could have gone a lot better. Alright, the good news is we have displaced them from the town square, which means we can probably push towards them using our armored hoplites, and we should rout them very quickly. As usual, the phalanx stance has failed. Yeah, so that's been probably the number one thing that's bothered me about this campaign, is just the awkward mechanics around keeping phalanxes in formation, and these guys clearly have their orders. I guess because we have mixed so many different units together, they're not able to actually coordinate, but it does create a very annoying situation. And if there's been one thing that I've not enjoyed about this campaign, it's been managing phalanxes, particularly combining it with the kind of pathfinding situation. The pathfinding situation in towns, which is of course always a problem, but mixing that with the kind of awkward pathfinding of phalanxes has been a bit frustrating, and for that reason I think if I do another Rome Total War campaign anytime soon, I'm probably going to pick a faction that either doesn't have phalanxes or that doesn't really rely on phalanxes, because I just kind of think that's more fun. Phalanxes are incredibly fun if you're playing defensively, if you're defending a location, for example. We had a few early episodes like that, but for the most part we've been very aggressive in this campaign, and not really seen phalanxes at their best, which seems strange to say, but they usually can hold a position extremely well. It's just when you turn aggressive, they don't work quite as well. Anyway, that was all in all a successful battle, and that was the final settlement we need to complete the long campaign objectives. Let's just occupy this town, because it doesn't matter at this point, and we have officially won for the Greeks. So thanks for watching this campaign, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I really do appreciate the support, particularly on these longer series. This has been an incredibly quick campaign, like I said, much quicker than I expected. I was not expecting this to be the finale. We could continue expanding if we wanted to, but I think we will leave it here. If you're interested in going back and watching a slightly more reasonably paced campaign, my previous Rome Total War campaign was on the original Rome Total War as the House of Scipii. I will leave a link to that campaign in the description. That was 38 episodes, so around twice the length of this campaign. And that was a relatively successful campaign too. particularly after the Civil War kicked off. That was a lot of fun, so do go and check that one out if you're interested. I also have a Lombardy campaign on Barbarian Invasion, and I will of course continue thinking about making more Total War campaigns on this channel, so do subscribe if you're not subscribed already. One last thing we'll do is we'll check out the map with no fog of war just to see the world as it stands. Final look at the map, we can see that we had no real chance of wiping out Carthage. They do have Neptay, they do have Lepsis Magna, but they also have the city of Corduba, which we were never really going to reach. They also have Palma, of course, which we were at least on the way to. The Spanish are attacking Gaul, and it looks like they're doing that semi-successfully. Gaul holding out pretty well, and I don't know if this is a remastered thing, because Britannia, in the original game, did used to sweep over these lands, but I guess with the Chariots being nerfed in auto-resolve, they've not been able to do as much. Germania surprisingly successful too. Dacia, of course, just had that final settlement that we didn't take out. Scythia has their town, which was to the northwest. We didn't make it to the Amazons, but there is their town in the north. Parthia, it looks like, has a total of 4 settlements, and the Seleucids have their capital to the east, Seleucia, and they also have Palmyra. And finally, the Numidians have been completely pushed off this part of the map by the Egyptians, so they have this little corner of Africa, and that's about it. But yeah, that is the campaign map as it stands in 254 BC. That is all for this Greek campaign. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.